Hi friends, I am Adam. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to read 10 reading passages for beginners. Let's go to the passages. Passage 1, a one English listening practice passage. You can use this passage to train your listening and comprehension as I speak. You ready? So today I'm going to talk about language learning. If you're watching this video, you're probably learning English, so I hope this is an interesting topic for you. Language learning is hard, and if you learn a language, you need to spend a lot of time studying. This is the most important part of learning a language: time. If you don't spend a lot of time studying, you won't learn English. Language learning takes time. I am a language teacher, but I'm also a language learner. I learn languages because it's fun for me and I love talking to people from other countries. This is the best part about learning another language. You can talk to many people and make new friends. I talk to people from many different countries. This is the fun part of learning languages. But language learning is not easy. Sometimes I get sad or frustrated when I can't understand somebody. I also get nervous when I talk to people in other languages. But that's okay. It's normal to get sad or frustrated or nervous when you learn another language. This is normal. Sometimes I make big mistakes when I'm speaking other languages. I make mistakes with grammar, with vocabulary, and with pronunciation. But this is normal. Everybody makes mistakes when they speak other languages. If you don't make mistakes, you won't improve. To improve, to get better, you need to make mistakes. You need to talk. You need to practice. You need to have fun. So don't worry about your mistakes. Have fun with English. If you don't have fun, it is harder to learn English. So here are some tips to have fun with English. Number 1. Read books in English that are interesting for you. Don't read boring books. Find books that you like. For example, if you like sports, read books in English about sports. If you like animals, read books in English about animals. And if you like technology, read books in English about technology. I love fiction, so I read fiction books in other languages. This helps me have fun and learn. Tip number 2. Watch videos in English that are interesting for you. If you like fashion and clothes, watch YouTube videos about fashion in English. If you like cars, watch YouTube videos about cars in English. It's important to read and watch things that are interesting for you. Okay. Tip number 3. Make friends who speak English and make friends who are learning English. I know it's not easy to make friends, but it will help you learn and practice your English. Find an English practice group in your city. You can look for an English practice group on meetup.com. If you can practice your English with friends, it will help you a lot. Passage 2. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice passage. You can use this passage to train your listening and comprehension as I speak. You ready? So, today I'm going to talk about travel. Traveling is one of the funniest activities. I've always loved traveling. When I was young, my family and I traveled to Hawaii many times. In case you don't know much about Hawaii, It's an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and it's also one of the 50 states of the U.S. I've been there about 6 or 7 times. I don't remember how many exactly. It's definitely one of my favorite places in the world. Hawaii has plenty of really beautiful beaches, and the lifestyle there is slow, low, and calm. But even though Hawaii is one of my favorite places to travel to, in general, I'd prefer the countryside, the forest, or the mountains more than the beach. So I love taking camping trips and road trips. I've taken a few different road trips through the U.S. before, and I just recently took a road trip through the Tuscany region of Italy. It was one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had. If you ever get the chance to go to Italy, I highly recommend you rent a car and drive through Tuscany. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Speaking of Europe, I also took a backpacking trip through Portugal and Spain a few years ago. It was my first time backpacking, and it wasn't easy. We spent a lot of time walking and taking buses and trains, and the whole time we had these big backpacks on our backs. We stayed in some pretty low-quality hostels, and thus we had some bad experiences. The worst thing that happened to me was that I was bitten by bed bugs when I was in Madrid. I don't know if you've ever been bitten by bed bugs before, but it's not a fun experience. And for me, it was worse because I have really sensitive skin, so I didn't just have little red spots on my skin. I had big swollen sores all over my arms. So if you plan on staying in hostels when you travel, you should definitely read the online reviews first. Sometimes it's better to pay a little more money to stay in a better place. Some people only like staying in hotels, and other people really like Airbnbs. Lately, I've been staying at Airbnbs no matter where I travel. It's definitely better than staying in hostels, in my opinion. Another aspect of travel that's really important is the flight. This is probably the worst part about traveling. Actually, it is the worst part, definitely. I've been pretty lucky because I haven't had any really bad flights, but I have had experiences with long delays and canceled flights, which can really ruin your trip. There were 2 times when I had to spend the night at the airport, which was terrible. I hope you guys don't ever have that experience. So overall, there are good and bad things about traveling, but I think we can all agree that it's nice to travel once in a while. Okay, that's all for this traveling passage. Leave a comment and tell me your favorite place that you've traveled to. Passage 3. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice passage. You can use this passage to train your listening and comprehension as I speak. So today I'm going to talk about the beach. This is a subject that most people like because most people like the beach. But I would say that I'm actually in that small minority of people that don't really love the beach. I'd say that I sometimes like going to the beach, but honestly, I prefer other types of terrain. But I'll get back to that later. Let's talk about all the cool beach activities that you can do. First of all, there are a ton of cool sports that can be played in the sand, like volleyball, soccer, football, etc. I've got to say that even though I'm not all that crazy about the beach beach volleyball is one of the sports that I love the most. There's just something about moving and diving around in the sand that I really like. And I'm fairly tall, so I have the advantage of being able to spike the ball over the net, which is pretty fun. Soccer and football can also be fun to play on the beach, but for me, I think I'd prefer to play those sports on normal grass. It's just easier to move around, it's flat, and you can play on a bigger field. So, besides sports, of course, one of the other things that people do on the sand is sunbathe. Now, this is something that I could never do in a million years, because I'd burn super easily. If you put me out in the sun for a few hours, I'd come back looking like a ripe tomato. No joke. I'm sure some of you might say something similar. Some of us get a nice tan when we're out in the sun, and some of us burn badly. I remember one of my all-time worst sunburns was when I went on a pretty long bike ride wearing a sleeveless shirt. It was kind of cloudy outside, so I didn't think I needed sunscreen. And boy, was I wrong. My arms were peeling for a long time after that day. Okay, so back to the beach. Let's talk about some of the different water activities. Now, growing up, I did some boogie boarding, which I actually find pretty fun. It just doesn't look as cool as surfing. If you've never been boogie boarding before, it's when you have a rectangular board and you lie down on it, and when a big wave comes, it pushes you into the shore. It's pretty fun. I've actually been thinking about learning to surf recently because I've had a few different students who were surfers, and they talked to me about it and made it sound pretty cool. So maybe I might try it, but I don't think I'd be that good at it. Besides surfing and boogie boarding, there are also some other more exotic-looking activities, like kite surfing and windsurfing, and some boat activities like jet skiing or sailing. I have been sailing before, but on the bay, not in the ocean. Sailing is something that would be cool to get into, but it takes a lot of practice, training, and dedication, and so I don't think I'll ever go that route. All right, so I mentioned earlier that I'm not a big beach guy, and that's mainly for two reasons. The first is the sun. I'd burn easily. And the second is that if I have free time, I'd prefer to go to other places like the mountains, the forest, the countryside, even the desert. So it's not that I don't like the beach, I just like other nature places better. But despite that fact, I've lived close to the beach for most of my life, and I know I'm lucky for that. All right. So that's all for this passage. Leave a comment and tell me some of the things that you like doing at the beach. Passage 4. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice passage. You can use this passage to train your listening and comprehension as I speak. You ready? So today I'm going to talk about cooking. I do not know how to cook, so I do not know a lot about this topic. However, I like eating, so I like talking about food in general. I am lucky because my wife cooks very well. She has a natural talent for cooking, so she cooks well. That means that I eat well. Let me tell you about some of the things that my wife cooks. Since she's Mexican, she likes cooking Mexican food. Sometimes she makes tacos, which are delicious. There are many types of tacos, so my wife can cook different tacos each time. I also cooked tacos in the past, but I don't cook well, so my tacos weren't very good. I cooked tacos al pastor, but I didn't cook them very well. My wife cooks much better. The only thing that I cook well is eggs. I love eggs, and I eat them almost every morning. I think eggs are the best breakfast food. I usually eat scrambled eggs, but I also eat other types of eggs too. My favorite type is Eggs Benedict. This is my favorite breakfast. Have you tried Eggs Benedict? So my wife also makes pasta. She makes really good pasta. She doesn't buy the pasta in the box that you buy from the store. She makes the pasta by hand. She makes the noodles, and they taste so good. When you make pasta by hand, it tastes better. I love all types of pasta, but my favorite is ravioli. For me, ravioli is the perfect food. Actually, I like all Italian food. When we were in Italy, we ate some amazing food. My wife also cooks a lot of meat. We like eating different cuts of steak every week. We try to buy cheap meat because meat can be expensive. We don't want to spend a lot of money, so we buy cheap meat. My wife cooks the meat in a pan, which is easy. Other people cook their meat on a grill. We don't have a grill, so we use a pan. I think that meat tastes good if it's cooked on a pan or on a grill. Meat is always good. I hope my wife cooks meat tonight. She also cooks really good breakfast. She makes really good pancakes. I like to eat pancakes with maple syrup and peanut butter. I know that's a little strange, but it's delicious. I love pancakes and peanut butter. My wife also cooks chilaquiles, a common Mexican breakfast. This is my favorite breakfast in the world. I love chilaquiles. This dish has tortilla chips, salsa, cheese, and cream. I like it with eggs on top. It's so good I don't know which is better, breakfast or dinner. In my family, we cook dinner 5 days a week. The other days we go out to eat dinner or we eat dinner with other people. Sometimes we eat dinner with my parents, and other times we eat dinner with my sister. Tonight we will eat dinner with my parents, and my mother will cook dinner. When I was a kid, my mother cooked dinner every weekday. Every evening we ate dinner at 6:30 p.m. every day. Do you eat dinner at the same time every day? In the U.S., it's common for families to eat dinner together. We sit together at the table, we eat, and we talk about our day. Dinner time is important in the U.S. In other countries, people eat dinner late, like at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., but this is too late for me. I don't want to eat dinner late. I like eating dinner at 5, 6, or 7 p.m. This is a good time for dinner. What do you like eating for dinner? I like every type of food from every country. I can eat anything, and I love trying new foods. Like I said, I don't cook well, but I eat well. Maybe I will learn to cook in the future, but I don't know. I don't like cooking, and I don't have the natural talent to cook. I prefer eating, not cooking. My wife cooks very well, so I don't need to learn. I'm thankful for that. Okay, that's all for this passage. Leave a comment and tell me if you like cooking. Passage 5. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice passage. You can use this passage to train your listening and comprehension as I speak. You ready? So, today I'm going to talk about the weather. This is an important topic because everybody talks about the weather. If you are learning English, you need to know how to talk about the weather. So, let's start with sunny weather. Sunny weather is my favorite type of weather. When it's sunny outside, I'm happy. For me, hot weather is better than cold weather. Some people don't like the heat, but I don't mind the heat. It can be uncomfortable, but for me that's okay. Some places are too hot, though. For example, the city of Las Vegas is really hot in the summer. I like hot weather, but not that hot. In really hot cities, you need to stay inside during the afternoon. In the U.S., most buildings in hot cities have air conditioning. Okay, now let's talk about cloudy days. I hate cloudy days. When the sun is not shining, I feel a little sad because I love sunny days. But cloudy days are normal. Every city has cloudy days. Some cities are always cloudy, like London. I can't live in a cloudy city. I need sunshine. Do you like sunny or cloudy days more? Okay, now let's talk about rainy days. For me, rainy days are the worst. I love being outside, so this is why I don't like the rain. When it rains, I can't do anything outside. I have to stay indoors all day. Some people really like the rain. My wife likes the rain, but only when she's inside. She says that the sound of the rain is calming. I don't agree. I don't like the sound of the rain. It reminds me that I can't go outside. Of course, you can go outside when it's raining, but you need to take an umbrella. If you don't have an umbrella, you get wet. Sometimes it starts raining when I'm not home, and I don't have an umbrella with me. This is the worst. I don't like getting wet. Also, when it rains, it can be dangerous to drive. Many people have car accidents when it rains. When the streets are wet, you need to drive slower. If you don't, you can have an accident. On rainy days, there are a lot of car accidents. I don't like driving in the rain. All right, now let's talk about windy days. Some cities have a lot of wind, and this can be good or bad. If you live in a hot city, the wind can be good because it cools the city down. But if you live in a cold city, the wind can be bad because it makes it even colder. If the wind is really strong, it can cause problems. Sometimes trees fall down because of the strong wind. Usually, I prefer days that aren't windy. Okay, lastly, let's talk about the snow. It doesn't snow in my city, so I don't see the snow often. Some years, my family goes to the mountains in the winter to ski and snowboard. I like the snow, but I don't want to live in a snowy city. It's too cold, and life is more difficult in the snow. I have some students that live in really cold cities. During the winter, the temperature can be 20 or 30 degrees. For me, that's crazy. I don't like the cold. Another bad type of weather is stormy weather. In the U.S., we have some bad storms like hurricanes and tornadoes. I've never seen a storm like this before, but I've seen many thunderstorms. These storms are not that bad, but I don't like lightning. Lightning can be scary. Okay, that's all for this passage. Leave a comment and tell me what type of weather you prefer. Passage 6. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice passage. You can use this passage to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. You ready? So, today I'm going to talk about pets. This is a fun topic because many people have pets and like animals. Let's start with dogs, since dogs are the most common pets in the U.S. So many people have dogs. You can see and hear dogs everywhere. When I was younger, my family had many dogs. Some of them were big, and some of them were small. They were all different kinds of dogs. I always liked our big dogs more. They were smart and fun. Our small dogs were cute, but they weren't very smart. All of our dogs loved to play. They wanted to play all day. I like dogs, but now I don't want to have dogs. If you have dogs, you need to spend a lot of time with them. They need a lot of attention. In the U.S., people treat their dogs very well. They give them a lot of attention, and they play with them a lot. Okay, now let's talk about cats. Some people like cats more than dogs, but I don't. I don't like cats at all. Actually, I'm allergic to cats, so I stay away from them. Many people like cats because they're independent. They don't need a lot of attention like dogs do. So, if you have a cat, it's easy. Also, cats are funny animals. There are many videos of cats doing very funny things. My family never had cats, though. What about you? Do you prefer cats or dogs? Okay, now let's talk about other types of pets. In the U.S., some people like to have small pets like hamsters or guinea pigs. These animals live in cages, so they're easy pets to have. You just need to feed them and clean their cage. I don't think these pets are very fun. They're a little boring in my opinion, but many people prefer these types of pets. I've never had a hamster or guinea pig before, but I ate a guinea pig when I was in Peru. In some countries, guinea pigs are food, not pets. Other types of pets include birds, bunny rabbits, fish, and reptiles. I had 3 fish when I was younger. 2 of these fish died pretty fast, but one of the fish lived for several years. Fish are boring pets, though. When I was very young, my family had a gecko. I liked to watch this gecko eat. It ate live crickets and worms. That was a cool pet. In the U.S., there are many animal shelters. An animal shelter is a place that takes care of animals that don't have owners. Most of these animals are dogs. Of course, if you go to an animal shelter, you can adopt these animals if you want. My family adopted several dogs from these animal shelters. Some of these dogs were nice and fun, and some of these dogs were not very nice. My favorite pet was our first dog. She was very smart and she was beautiful. I played with her and I pet her every day. She lived with us for over 10 years. I miss that dog. If I get a pet in the future, it will be a dog, but I don't think I want a pet. Okay, that's all for this passage. Leave a comment and tell me if you have any pets. Passage 7. Hey everybody, welcome to this A1 English listening practice passage. You can use this passage to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. You ready? So, today I'm going to talk about New Year's resolutions. What is a New Year's resolution? This is a goal or an objective that you have for the next year. When it's the end of the year, some people make New Year's resolutions. They want to have a good year and do many things. Let's talk about some common resolutions. One common New Year's resolution is to lose weight. Many people plan to lose weight during the new year. This is a good resolution. It can help you be healthy. It's not easy to lose weight, though. It can be difficult. You need to eat healthy food, and you need to exercise. Many people go to the gym in January because their New Year's resolution is to lose weight. But not everyone reaches their goal. Many people quit. Okay, another common New Year's resolution is to study English more. This is a good New Year's resolution. Some people want to learn English to help their career. If you speak English, you can have better opportunities. For some jobs, you need to speak English, and for other jobs, you need to read and write in English. English is important for many jobs. Maybe English will help your career too. This year, my goal is also to study more languages. All right. Another common New Year's resolution is to read more books. Some people are very busy, so they don't read a lot. Other people are not good at reading, but they want to improve. And some people don't like reading, but they need to read. Many people have the New Year's resolution to read more. I think that's good. I want to read more too. I want to read many books this year. How many books do you want to read this year? Maybe you can read books in English this year. That's a good resolution. Okay, another common New Year's resolution is to learn a new activity. This is a fun one. There are many activities that you can learn. Some people learn a new sport. Other people learn a skill. It's good to learn new things. Maybe you can take a class to learn something new. There are many classes that teach you different skills. You can look for classes in your city. Another common New Year's resolution is to quit smoking. This is not a fun resolution, but it's good. I don't smoke, so I don't need to quit. But I could stop other bad habits. For example, I eat a lot of sugar, so maybe I should eat less sugar this year. Or maybe I should eat more vegetables. These are good resolutions. There are many different New Year's resolutions. I think this is good because people want to accomplish goals. It's good to accomplish goals. Okay, that's all for this passage. Leave a comment and tell me if you have a resolution for this year. Passage 8. Hey everybody. Welcome to this A1 English listening practice passage. You can use this passage to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. So today I'm going to talk about summer. For some of you, it's summer now, and for others, it's winter. Here, where I live, it's the summer season now. So first, let's talk about summer weather. In most countries, this is the hottest time of the year. In cold countries, summer is the only time of year when it's hot. In tropical countries, there isn't much difference between the seasons, but summer is definitely hot. I really like hot, sunny weather. Some people don't like this weather, so they prefer other seasons. How about you? Do you prefer hot or cold weather? Also, in some places, summer is the rainy season. Where I live now, it rains a lot in the summer. I don't like this. I grew up in Southern California, where it doesn't rain a lot, so I'm used to blue skies and sunny weather. For me, rainy weather isn't fun. I like to go outside and do activities, but it's hard to do this when it's raining. Let's talk about some summer activities that people like to do during the hot summer days. Many people like going to the beach. The water is usually warmer during this season, so it's a good time to swim. Some people like to lie on the sand and enjoy the hot sun, but I don't do this. I sometimes like swimming at the beach, but I definitely don't sunbathe. I get sunburned very easily. Another thing that many Americans do in the summer is have barbecues. This season is perfect for barbecues because you can spend the afternoon outside with your family and friends. The kids can run around and play while the adults relax and talk, and of course, everyone enjoys eating good food. At barbecues, I love eating hamburgers and hot dogs outside on warm summer days. Also, many Americans have swimming pools, so the summer months are a great time to use them. When I was a kid, my family always went in the pool during this time of year. I have great memories of playing with my sister and my friends in our pool. It's always fun to go in the pool during the summer. People who don't have swimming pools can go to public pools. In big cities, there are usually public swimming pools where you can go during the summer or during other months. One other popular summer activity in the U.S. is camping. Summer is the perfect time to go camping because you don't get too cold at night. Usually, people sleep outside in tents when they camp, so it's better to do this activity when it's warm. I've camped in the summer and in the winter, but it's definitely better in the summer. A lot of people go hiking when they camp, which is also better in the summer, in my opinion. All right, now let's talk about summer vacation. In the U.S., children usually have a long break from school during the summer. When I was in elementary school and middle school, I had 2.5 months of summer vacation. The school year ended in the middle of June, and the next school year began in September. This is a long break. I had time to do many things during these months. Many American children go to summer camp during this break. There are many types of summer camp where kids do fun activities, learn new things, and spend time outdoors. I went to a few sports summer camps when I was a kid. Also, many people travel during this season because children don't have to go to school. Summer is also a good time to travel because of the good weather, but the bad thing about traveling in the summer is that many touristic places are crowded at this time. This means that there are many people there, so I prefer to travel during other seasons. All right, now I'm going to ask you some questions about the video to see if you understood. Write your answers in a comment down below. Number 1. What's one summer activity? Number 2. Where do people sleep when they go camping? And number 3. What's one bad thing about traveling during the summer? Passage 9. Hey, everybody. Welcome to this A1 English listening practice passage. You can use this passage to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. Okay, today we're going to talk about retirement. This is an interesting topic because retirement is different around the world. So, what is retirement? When you retire, it means that you stop working. You finish your career. So, first, let's talk about the retirement age. In the U.S., the retirement age is 66 or 67. It depends on when you are born. However, this age might change in the future. When you turn 66 or 67 years old, you can stop working and get money from the government. In the U.S., this is called Social Security. The retirement age is different in different countries, but I think that it's usually 60-something in most countries. What's the retirement age in your country? In the U.S., the Social Security money that people receive isn't enough for most people. Life is expensive in the U.S., so people often save money or invest so they can retire. I think in most countries it's the same. The money that the government gives you when you retire isn't a lot. This means that people need to plan for retirement. So, let's talk about some ways to have more money when you retire. One thing you can do is save money. You can save a little money each month, and this amount will grow as time goes by. You should start saving when you're young. If you start saving when you're 60, you probably won't save a lot of money before you retire. And sometimes saving money isn't enough. Over time, there's always inflation. Inflation is when your currency loses value. So, if there's a lot of inflation, then your savings lose value too. This is why some people prefer to invest money. There are many different ways to invest money. You can invest in a retirement plan, the stock market, cryptocurrency, gold, silver, real estate, and other things. If you invest your money well, then you can make more money in the future. This can help you retire. One other important investment is investing in your children. If you have children, then you should invest a lot of time, money, energy, and love into them. If you do this, then your children will probably help you when you're older. It's much easier to retire when your children love you and want to help you out. Now, let's talk about what people do when they retire. In the U.S., there are many popular activities for retired people. One common activity is golf. If you go to a golf course in the U.S., you'll see many retirees. Another thing that many retired people do is travel. When people don't have to work, they have a lot of time to go places. Many people dream of retiring and traveling around the world. And one last activity that many retired people do is help take care of their grandchildren, if they have grandchildren. This is a very important activity for many people. Grandparents love spending time with their grandchildren, and parents appreciate the help. And actually, some people never retire. Some people continue working their whole life. They might do this because they need the money, or they might just love working. How about you? Do you want to retire in the future, or do you want to continue working when you're old? Okay, that's all for today. Remember to download my free listening time podcast. And if you want my advanced podcast, then become a listening time family member. So, now I'm going to talk about American sports. Many foreigners don't know much about American sports. That's why this is a good topic to discuss. I'm going to talk about 3 American sports: basketball, baseball, and football. These are the most popular sports in the U.S. First, let's talk about basketball. Actually, this sport is popular in some other countries too. For example, it's popular in some European and Asian countries, but it's more popular in America. In the U.S., our professional basketball league is called the NBA. The NBA has 30 teams, 29 American teams, and 1 Canadian team, the Toronto Raptors. You probably know some of the famous NBA teams, like the Los Angeles Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. When I was younger, I was a big Lakers fan. I started watching their games when I was 6 years old. My favorite players are Shaq and Kobe. You might know those names. So, the rules of basketball are pretty simple. You try to shoot the ball into the hoop, and you defend your hoop. If you score from close, it's 2 points. If you score from far away, it's 3 points. And if you score a foul shot or free throw, it's 1 point. The team who scores more points wins. Easy, right? When I was a kid, I played basketball a lot. I was tall, so this really helped me. If you're tall, you have an advantage. Nowadays, I don't play basketball anymore. Okay, now let's talk about baseball. In the past, baseball was the most popular sport in America, but today more Americans watch football. In the U.S., our professional baseball league is called the MLB. The MLB has 30 teams, just like the NBA. Baseball is popular in some countries outside the U.S. For example, people in the Caribbean love baseball, and it's also popular in some Asian countries. How about you? Do you like baseball? So, the rules of baseball are complicated. There's no time in baseball. We don't have 2 halves or 4 quarters. Instead, there are 9 innings. In each inning, both teams have the chance to play on offense and defense. I won't try to explain all the positions, but I will talk about the pitcher and batter. The pitcher is the person who throws the ball, and the batter is the person who hits the ball. The batter tries to hit the ball hard and far. The pitcher doesn't want the batter to hit the ball. There are many more rules, and they're very complicated. But if you watch a few baseball games, you'll start to understand. I'm not good at baseball, but I like going to baseball games. It's really fun to watch a baseball game in a baseball stadium. Okay, lastly, let's talk about football. Remember that in the U.S., football is not soccer. When we say football, we're talking about American football. Today, football is the most popular sport in America. More people watch football than any other sport. Nowadays, it's becoming popular in other countries too. Is American football popular in your country? So, the rules of football are really complicated, and the rules change often. If you don't know the rules of football, it can be hard to understand what's happening when you watch a game. However, the objective of the game is simple. You want to score more points than the other team. You can score touchdowns, which are 6 points. You can score field goals, which are 3 points. And you can score extra points, which are 1 point. One team is on offense and one team is on defense. The most important player is the quarterback. He's the player who throws the ball. And of course, the championship game is called the Super Bowl. This is a very popular event every year. Okay, now I'm going to ask you some questions about the video to see if you understood. Write your answers in a comment down below. Number 1. How many Canadian teams are in the NBA? Number 2. In baseball, what does the batter do? And number 3. In football, who is the most important player? Passage 10. Hey everybody. Welcome to this A1 English listening practice passage. You can use this passage to practice your listening and comprehension as I speak. Okay, today we're going to talk about working from home. This is a good topic because many people work remote nowadays. Working remotely means you don't work in an office. You stay home and you use your computer or other technology to work. I work from home, and I think there are positives and negatives to this. Let's talk about them. First, let's start with the positives. If you work from home, you don't need to commute to work. You don't have to drive to work in the morning or drive back home in the evening. This is great because you don't have to worry about traffic. In the morning and in the evening, there are many cars on the road because many people are commuting to and from work. Some people get stuck in this traffic every day. This is one of my favorite things about working from home. It saves you a lot of time. Another thing is that you can feel more relaxed when you work from home. You can wear casual clothes, you can take breaks when you're tired, and you can work in any room. I feel pretty comfortable working from home. It's not too formal, and I feel free. If you work in an office, there are more rules, and it's less comfortable. One other positive about working from home is being able to spend more time with your family. For example, if you have a break, you can go in the other room and spend time with your family. When you work at an office, you don't have your family with you, so you can't do this. I love eating breakfast or lunch with my family when I have breaks. This is probably the best part about working from home. I can spend a lot of time with my family on weekdays and weekends. Okay, now let's talk about the negatives of working from home. One bad thing is that it's easy to get distracted at home. For example, if you have young children at home with you, it can be hard to focus on your work. Children make noise and interrupt you while you're working. This is normal, so you have to learn to manage these situations and stay focused on your work. Another negative thing about working from home is that sometimes you don't know when to stop working. When you work at an office, you stop working when you leave the office. You know exactly when your workday is done. However, when you work from home, it can be hard to know when to stop each day. You don't have your boss there to tell you when to stop. One more negative thing about working from home is not having contact with other people. In general, it's important to talk and interact with other people. If you work from home, you only talk to your co-workers on the computer or on the phone. This is okay, but I think it's also good to interact with people in person. It feels good to be around people and to work with people. So, in general, I like working from home, but it's not perfect. Okay, that's all for today. Leave a comment and tell me if you like working from home. Hope you have enjoyed the reading. See you soon in the next lesson.